Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Coco, and you are listening and hopefully watching ChatterBox Podcast. And I am here with the amazing Giavonna.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Of course, of course. Okay, so let's just get right into it. What are you listening to right now?
Ooh, what am I? Drake and Future. That's really like on repeat in my car right now and like at the gym.
I feel like they're about to come out with another album, no?
If they do, I mean, I'd be really happy because life is good. That's all I was playing this morning. You know, Future, hey. Drake, hey.
Right, how y'all doing? Next episode, y'all come. Okay, so what have you been reading right now?
The Power of Intuition by Dr. Wayne Myers. I believe his last name is, but I definitely know Power of Intuition.
Tell me a little bit about it.
So basically it's all about manifesting whatever you want. And it's about putting that positive energy out there, because I think a lot of times we often like say this won't happen to me if it goes like if something starts to go wrong. But once you start saying like, all right, you know what, I am feeling tired, or this did happen, but in a few minutes things are going to change around. So just like putting that positive energy out into the air and then seeing it come back to you.
Have you seen like any way in which that has like directly affected you since you've been reading it? Like, have you noticed anything like that, or is it just something you've always kind of lived by?
Since reading it, no, but honestly, I literally just started. But in life, yes. Yeah. Now I live southwest, and I said I wanted to move to either west or south, or wait, southwest. I said I wanted to live either on the west coast or south, like in Florida.
Okay.
And so like it's just about like manifesting, like being specific. So I should have said I want to live in LA or I want to live in Miami. Yep. So like that's just like whatever you put out there comes back, kind of.
That's so true. I feel like that's something I've been seeing a lot lately. Like when you pray or when you say what you want, when you put that out there, you have to be very specific, because it'll come back like real slight. You're like, okay.
You're like, wait, did you not hear what I said? Oh, I guess I wasn't specific yet.
Exactly. What are you watching right now?
Ooh, I just finished The Circle on Netflix.
Okay. Is that the social media?
Yes, girl. It was so good. It's kind of like, you know, our generation of Big Brother. And I mean, like, I still would go on Big Brother, but I also go on The Circle. Right. But I just finished that. But also, is it Grace and Frankie on that?
Yes, like the two older ladies. I like that show.
So corny, but so good. It's so good.
Okay. So to get right into your actual profession, what is your professional title?
Right. Okay, so previously I was just digital sports host for the Milwaukee Brewers, but now, as of like 2 months ago, it's reporter producer for Northern Arizona University.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so congratulations on that. So as long as I've known you, you've been combining like media and sports, and you've like obviously been taking that route. So what made you choose this specific career path? So why continue on that path? Like what made you want to be in media with sports instead of like being in a different area of it?
Yeah. If that makes sense. No, absolutely. I think I used to get in trouble for talking a lot in school. You know, so that social butter aspect never left me. And I also used to play basketball in school. I could never keep weight on to like actually become a professional athlete. So I figured, I actually saw Craig Sager's in our family great room when I was 10 years old. And I was like, who is this man with this loud jacket on? And then didn't even know back then, like, you know, like what? Right. So I was like, I'm going to do that one day. And then what can I do when you're not going to play basketball anymore, but you want to keep playing basketball or just be around that atmosphere? And kind of came up with the two.
So what's your favorite thing about being in that, like, I guess, athletic atmosphere?
What do you like most about it? That nothing's ever the same. Okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate because although, like, the players are never the same either, so you do build this rapport with the guys. And now I have the, you know, privilege of building rapport with the female athletes as well, so that's kind of cool. Yeah. But specifically, like, what I've seen in my previous jobs, you built this rapport, and although you have it, it's never the same because, you know, it's a business, so everyone's in and out. But then again, that goes with what I do like about it. Nothing's ever the same. Right. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it's never a dull moment, but it's never a dull moment.
Yeah, right.
Gotcha. So I don't know if the title would be, so reporter for NAU, is that what it would?
Reporter producer?
reporter producer. And as you just stated, you've worked with other organizations before. So tell us a little bit about that if you can.
Yeah. So I graduated in 2014. And then I actually started grad school, but dropped out. That sounds so bad, but I stopped doing, I was, and I only did that because fortunately I got a job with NBC in St. Louis. Yeah, so that was really cool, especially being in that large of a market, like right out of school. So I was with them for about 2 to 3 years. And I actually think I still talk to him to this day. His name is Larry Thornton, and if it wasn't for him, I would not be where I'm at right now. So thank you, Larry. So I started off at KSDK, an NBC affiliate in St. Louis, and then just kind of moving forward from there, I went to the Milwaukee Brewers. I worked with them for 3 seasons. Both jobs, I did the same thing, digital hosting, and now I am with Northern Arizona University, covering everything that goes on campus for the most part.
So definitely warmer. So explain for those who don't know what the you said digital media or it sounds kind of obvious, but could you explain that for those who do?
Yeah. So for Northern Arizona, I do digital as well as on air. So our stuff airs on CW as well as Pluto. So that's pretty cool. But for my previous positions, with NBC, some things would appear on NBC, but most of it was digital content. So like what you're seeing when you scroll your feed, or what you're seeing when you do www. whatever. So that was both with NBC and the Milwaukee Brewers. So just digital.
Right. But nowadays, like you were talking about the circle, nowadays it's where we get most of our information, whether it be, news like that's happening in the area, or entertainment or sports. Like we're getting it on our phones, literally.
Absolutely.
So you said you played basketball in high school, right? And now you work with baseball teams. So why the sporting change? Is it just because that's the way that opportunities happened, or is that just the route that you would prefer?
Well, right now I don't work with the baseball team, but no, you're fine. I literally just stopped. So, I was with the baseball team. It's 2020, so 2019, April 11th, 2019 was like my last. But why did I choose that route?
Yeah, is it just because that was how the opportunities came, or is it because like that's something that you wanted to work with, that sport?
How opportunities came. Basketball is my first love, just because I played. And a lot of people, especially us as Black people, we don't really fall in love with the game of baseball. So I was just always in love with baseball because of my grandfather, my papa. So I feel like it was a blessing to get that Milwaukee Brewers job. But I didn't choose to go down the baseball path. You know what I'm saying? So I just took the opportunities as they came, if they were the right fit for me.
Right. Okay. Perfect. I like that you mentioned it was like your papa, because it just kind of like one of the other questions I had was like, what was your favorite part of the job? And when you did work with the baseball team, it kind of makes that even better. You get a chance to see a space that you never would have occupied otherwise.
Yes.
So I think that's pretty cool. So just to kind of take a little detour, I guess, you talked about basketball, and obviously recently the passing of Kobe Bryant. So I guess as somebody who's so close to that sport, how did that affect you as an athlete and as a person who works with that?
How did his death, or how did his legacy, just playing the sport, you kind of get to see how he studied the craft, as well as he practiced the craft. So not only did he just watch, tons of athletes, during his generation before or up and coming, he also practiced a lot. Right. So that kind of taught me to put the effort in. I'm more of a, what am I going to do? I'm always kind of panicking, but to see that he was just so composed on the court was something I definitely idolized. I can't say that I was a huge Kobe fan. I did have one interaction with him that I'll never forget.
Really?
Yeah, it was really cool. So I went to one of the games where he played the Bulls, and I was sitting right behind the opponent's bench, so the Lakers bench, and I felt so bad because this man was praying, and I was like, Kobe, Kobe, and then I didn't know he was praying though. So then I guess he turned around and gave me that 1 minute finger, and I was just okay, he's gonna ignore me, and I was only 13, 14. So, I'm like, whatever. Like, you're right. So, literally when he got done praying, he's like, what's up? And I was like, can I have your armband? Can I have your armband? And then he was just like, after the game, obviously everyone's like trying to get pictures and things of that sort. He spots me in the crowd and personally grabs my hand and hands me his armband. And it was like something I'll never forget. Especially with the, tragedy that just like happened now. But to like think about like all those little details, even during his day, he like remembers.
Like, how do you, in my mind, I've never been an athlete. Excuse me. That's not my thing. However, like, I know that when you're doing something like serious or something that you're passionate about, your focus is completely, yeah. So for him to even like come out of it, to even acknowledge you more than once, like what is that, like 3 different times he acknowledged you in one day, and it's just like, so that it goes back to the composure that you said he had and on the court and in his craft. So wow, that's awesome. I'm glad you had that story. I didn't even know that. That kind of is like really perfect. So I mean, I'm glad that you got to experience it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that him and his daughter and the other passengers passed away. Definitely my thoughts go out tremendously to each one of their families, and Vanessa Bryant, like her losing, I can't even fathom. Yeah, right. I can't. I literally, when we found out, was actually getting ready to go out in Phoenix, and it's like I heard my friend's boyfriend just yell like, "What?" And we're like, what is going on? Like, it was like it wasn't a normal what, but it was, you could tell something had happened, and it just changed the entire vibe of the entire day. Not intentionally, of course, but like when something like that happens, you picture Kobe is supposed to be like invincible. Yeah, you're supposed to like tell your kids like, hey, back in the day, that was the right.
No, seriously. And then it even reminds me, like we were just talking about like digital media. Like I found out, literally I scrolled and then I went to like other things that I looked to for information, and I'm like, nothing yet. So it probably is just not real, because you know how social media likes to do things before it happens. So I'm like, nah. And then I just keep going. I'm like, oh God. And then we like go on the news, and I'm just like, like, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm not an athlete, very far away from that like industry, I guess you could say. So for it to even like reach, I feel like me and other people who don't identify as like athletes or being a sport nut or whatever you want to call it.
But the fact that you still like, you know what I'm saying, felt something about it, just like kind of stems to like the impact he had.
And that's why I really like that, you mentioned about, baseball and how you found like the connection within that, and then your first love, basketball, because it means that you're putting like that heart and that like love and passion into your craft. And so it makes me want to like watch what you're doing even more, you know what I mean? So as a person involved in media, I'm sure you can attest to the struggles of the industry, but tell me a little bit about your journey and how you've come to be where you currently are. So I know you mentioned you had a mentor that helped you get to where you are. So tell me a little bit though about your journey like in college, because personally I'm very like curious, because for me, coming out of college, finding a job in my field, very hard. And I mean, like, for most people it is hard, but you said you had somebody like help you get there. So tell me a little bit about like the steps you took, and for anybody else who might be trying to take those same steps.
So it wasn't easy by far. I mean, I feel as if with the NBC opportunity, thanks to Larry, I was able to like kind of move forward in my career. It did come with struggles, and to speak respectfully on the struggles, it was just a matter of like, I think you and I kind of spoke about this, like having that girl power is like so amazing, but there's also people out there who don't extend that hand and don't want people to like, be in the same realm as them, which it's really hard. So I was able to lean on my mentors. I have two, Mark Spears and Eric Jackson. One for ESPN and the other for Turner Sports, and I'm ever so grateful to like be able to talk to them and just kind of get their advice. I think that's a very big deal in this field, because if you don't have anyone kind of directing you,
who literally like it's I wouldn't even call it 50-50. I think it's like 75% who you know, and then 25% the rest, what you know, and like everything like that. Because I feel like you got the two kinds of women. I think it's like the ones who like extend the hand, and then you've got like the ones who are very like open, but they might not be where you want you know, so it's like, oh, like when am I ever going to be able to have like this in? So you do look to the, like, especially in your field, it's like a male dominated realm, you know.
No, but to your point, like just being in different aspects, I feel like those different organizations. I'm affiliated with National Association of Black Journalists. So to be able to make those connections and to be able to be in one place with those people that you aspire to be like definitely helps. And then it also makes you feel like, number one, it helps because you can make contact with them. You know, you just don't see, you know, a Mark Spears or Stephen A. on TV. You actually are able to shake their hand. Or a Rosalind Goldadigwe, you know, just to actually be in that realm. Like, oh, you know what? She has hair like me. She has the same color skin. We do this. We could do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So I think that definitely helps, as well as just like being focused. You know, you just can't let anything put you down, right, deter you for too long. Honestly, that's the hardest part.
Because you get discouraged, especially because, like, I feel like in the media, people around you, it seems like an unattainable goal because it's something that I guess is on TV. People don't see it as like a real career sometimes. So it definitely is not. There's not a lot of people around you telling you like, oh, this is totally reasonable. You can totally accomplish this. It's normal. But I was actually speaking to Domity, and he's the one who told me to do the NABJ. So I just signed up for it. I haven't really gone to anything yet, but now like that just kind of like makes me like, okay, like look on the website, like get active in it because clearly it's something that can benefit.
I actually ran into him at NABJ in Detroit at the airport. I was just walking. He was like, G. I was like, yo, what's up? Right. And so ever since then, I feel as if like, you know, in college we all knew each other, but like before then I think we were trying to have coffee before I ran into him, maybe before or after. But he's actually doing amazing.
Yes, he's on MTV and like he's got his own show now, like.
And I'm jealous, actually.
Right, jealous. We're jealous of you, Domity, but like props for real.
Right. So like just having that connection and that organization that can kind of back you up.
I guess like I'm so used to like taking steps and just like doing them and not really having like always having a method to my madness. And I think having like the structure of the NABJ and like hearing the way that you went about it is giving me a little bit more like insight on how to have structure behind a field that not a lot, you kind of have to blaze on your own, especially like if nobody else that you know is doing it.
Right, and I mean, National Association of Black Journalists has been a huge backing to my career. And they also have National Association of Hispanic Journalists, you know, so it's like just to have someone to like back you up and, you know, you can seek those people who are in the place that, again, you aspire to be, and they could tell you how to kind of maneuver in certain challenges or just in positive situations, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
That's really helpful, so thank you for that. And as someone from Chicago and like the Chicago area, how important is the community in your career field? And I mean, I know you mentioned like how that network, like with people like Domity in college, that like helped you build that network, especially with the NABJ, but just in general, like the city of Chicago, like how important is that, if at all?
Yeah, it's actually very important. I can't say too much on it, but I am working on like a nonprofit for the city of Chicago. Okay. I don't know like how long it's gonna take, but it's always been something like very special to me, especially when it comes to kids in baseball. That was like, you know, my pride right there. So I just have like I'm working on something, brewing like some type of idea to give back when it comes to that realm like of Chicago and, you know, kids in at-risk communities. I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for sports. I was gonna, right. Honestly, I would have been out here. It's actually my mom like made me do something, whether like it was, I mean, I only did ballet for like 2 days, but
all that was my mom.
Ballet, right?
Cellos.
That's probably why I don't have rhythm right now, because I was like, I'm out, like this isn't for me. But no, I think it's very important because not only does it teach you structure, but it gives you something to look forward to. And if you don't have anything to do with your day, you're just an idle. Mine is a devil's playground. So and that goes for me like right now to this day. Like I'll be at home like I don't have nothing to do, and my mind's just like wandering. I'm like, I'm about to get in trouble.
See, I make myself to-do lists to try to avoid that, but somehow, sometimes.
Yeah. So it's just, I think sports definitely shape who you are. It builds character. It keeps you out of trouble and it keeps you in shape. I mean, I know that's like not the biggest thing, but It's nice. So just to kind of have something to look forward to, and if you mess up in school, like your coach is gonna make you like sit, or you gonna run, your parents gonna whoop you. You know what I'm saying? Just like whatever.
Some way, like you benefit, even if you don't feel like it, you're benefiting in some space from it. So yeah.
Yeah, that structure aspect.
So I know you spoke a little bit on the non-for-profit that you're working on, but don't want to speak too much about. Hopefully, this will happen so that like I can, yeah, like where it's going to happen, and then we're gonna put like all the links below and all that stuff. But what is your overall goal with your career? So like your goal as it pertains to just you specifically, what you want to accomplish, and then in the greater scheme of things, if that makes sense. So however you want to answer that.
Yeah, I think right now I'm fortunate because my bosses allow me to kind of help aspiring reporters. So that's like my way of kind of giving back in the immediate future. So I want to definitely give back and like help reporters who are looking to become, media related, sports related, whatever. So I definitely want to give back to those in this field. I would really love to be a host of some type of like television show, as far as like First Take, Undefeated. I think Molly Quorum and Joy Taylor, they do a great job at what they do now, and they kind of inspire me to become better, and get to that role. So I would love to do that, as well as sideline reporting in conjunction the two, some type of.
Do you want to? So would you like to work for like I don't know if it's basketball, like the NBA, like on that level, or like NFL, like larger level, or do you want to stay like with universities and like keep it, I guess, central, smaller? Even though colleges are honestly at this point just as big.
I think coming from a club background or a club organization, that I like that feeling a lot. It is hard because you have to like, you're narrow-minded to that team, and you still have to like take in other teams, but it's a lot that goes into that. But I would like to get back into an NBA team or an NBA team or a MLB team. I think that would be great. That's something I definitely want to do, and I feel like my next step from here, I hope, would be network. I could see myself there. I've like talked to a few networks once before, so I would like to be there.
You will be there. I could see it. Like I can definitely see it. Like I've watched some of your clips and stuff like that on like Instagram, the things that you've posted and stuff like that, and I'm like, yes, you got that for sure.
So hopefully you see me doing that sooner than later and put it into the universe, as we were just talking about manifesting. So maybe in Florida. I would love to go to Florida, Miami or Tampa.
Nice. That'd be nice, yeah. All right. Well, I do have a lightning round. So it's just a couple questions, like whatever. You just answer them as quick as possible. All right. What is your favorite color?
Green.
Your gum or mints?
Gum.
Okay. Favorite sport?
Basketball.
Favorite season?
Oh, spring.
I'm gonna say it's real cold outside. It's hard to say winter. Favorite fast food place?
Oh my gosh. Chick-fil-A.
Okay. Favorite artist?
Drake.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even need to explain that. You're like Drake. Okay, it's fine. Your favorite music genre?
R&B, hip-hop. That's so cliche, but is that okay?
No, that's me too. Cause like I have my R&B days, and then I have my hip hop rap days.
I do have a country playlist, and some country hits.
Yeah. Okay. I went through a huge phase. Like I would say, like senior year of high school. Like I went through like country.
My mom's like, "Who raised you, girl? You've been in Milwaukee too long." I'm like, "Girl, this hit. Like, listen to it, right?"
First of all, they got it's good over there.
No, if there's anything I could ask. It's so weird sitting on the side of the mic instead of. If there's anything I could say, it would honestly be just to always make that connection and like never burn any bridges, because you never know who you're going to meet, who you're going to see, and who's going to be that person that you need in some type of future. So that's my biggest advice to anyone and myself.
Like I call myself like socially ambiguous and being able to like move in different crowds, and I think as a media person you have to be able to like adjust to different scenarios, and I think both Giavonna and I can attest to like literally just creating those like good relationships with everybody, because you never know when they come back around. Like never know. So thank you for that. That was really good. So your social media, like shout out any social media or websites that you want them to go visit.
Yeah, it's everything. My Twitter and Instagram is Giavonna, Giav, as in like Victor, ONNA _ Heath, like the candy bar, Heath. I know. I just like, I wish I ate them more so I could be like, Heath Bar, sponsor me, do something. But it's Giavonna _ Heath on everything.
Okay, and I'll put them all down below so that you can click on it and get to her. So thank you, Giovanna, for speaking with me. I really, 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 really appreciate it. And I learned a lot. I think what I took away from this is that like is to just put more like, I guess, put more work in like into my craft, because I do already, but I think that there's a certain way that I could go about it that could benefit me in certain ways. Like the networking part, you named so many different names that I'm like, I need to learn people's names way better than I do. So that definitely inspired me. So I really appreciate you for speaking with me.
No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.